Om Shanti, good morning. So today I'm here in India, joining from Panda Bhavan, Madhuban. So as always, every Monday we get together. We have a special guest speaker today, Sister Ranjan Ben. And so she's a very unique soul, originally from Africa, moved to London, did a lot of service in London, and also in instrumental in starting centers all over America, including the centers in Texas. She runs 3 centers and also a retreat center. So it is a blessing to have a retreat center in Texas, especially in the Bible Belt. And she's instrumental in starting a lot of centers in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Costa Rica. She did service in inner space, London, in South Central America, Costa Rica, El Salvador, and a lot of other places, including Chicago and Georgia. So you can see that Sister Ranjan Ben has her touch in every corner of America. So currently, she is a part of the national coordination team of America. She has holding the the role of holding the yagya together, being a spiritual guide for all of us. So today, I want to introduce the topic. Topic being understanding karma to become karmateet. So we understand karma in a different ways, but today we want to understand karma for big is like how can we become karmateet using with the understanding of karma. So as always, these are unique sessions. These are sessions filled with personal experiences. So when we recognize somebody, when we try to recognize the spiritual uniqueness of every soul, when we try to resonate with the journey, the spiritual journey of our Brahmin family, something deep within us starts resonating within us, and that helps us to that can trigger some of the ancient memories of being the deity soul, being the Brahmin soul. And my personal request, as always, is try to put yourself in the shoes of the speaker so that you can feel what the speaker is sharing. You can feel the bhavana behind that. So without any further ado, I would like to invite Ranjana Ben. Welcome. So, and as always, we we connect using Dristi without cameras on. We cannot see what's behind that label. So, if you would like to connect with you, if you can please turn on your cameras wherever you are. It will be nice to have you all connected together. Welcome, Ranjana Ben.
Thank you, Harsha, for introduction. It's always nice to meet family wherever we are, right? Whether it's in India or California or East Coast or South America or England, Europe, wherever. Because knowing and understanding the spirituality and the knowledge of Raj Yoga, it unites us. And why we feel united? Because we follow God's directions. So God's directions unites us. And so I'm very happy to be with all of you this evening and for you in the morning, Harsha Bhai. I did not get the...
That's right. It's 8 a.m. here.
I did not know whether the talk is today or not because I did not receive any details. So I thought maybe you were also mentioning other dates. So
sorry about that.
That's okay. But I just thought because it's our 8:30 here, right, in the evening, and we just finished our bhatti because since the month of January we've been doing bhatti extra hours, right? So Amrit Vela and 3 hours, 9 to 12 in the morning and 5 to 8 in the evening. So we just finished our tea, and I thought if you don't send me the details, that means I don't need to give talk today, right?
Oh no, so sorry about
That's
that.
fine. I thought maybe another date that you were mentioning. So anyway, nice to meet all of you. And we are very used to with the names, right? So no problem. The main thing is we belong to one. That makes all difference, right? So I think you told me to share my experience. So my journey, born in Uganda, Africa, parents took us to India to learn Indian culture, language. And I was very inspired as being in India. The natural sanskaras came, learning history in school, and that helped me a lot to, to rekindle my inner awareness of serving Bharat. And of course, there was China and India war, Pakistan and India war at different times. So I thought, what should I do? And I thought I would become a doctor to serve people of Bharat because there's so much poverty. And then I was thinking to join army and serve Bharat in that way. And then I was thinking of doing other things that how can I help Bharat, our country. But nothing that I was thinking happened. And I we all came to England. Uh, and then in England, I came across with this, I did not even want to know Brahma Kumaris or want to learn meditation, but accidentally I happened to be a place where there was Murli knowledge was going on in the morning. So as I would just say, my lucky brother in London has center in his house. He runs centers in his house, and I heard about Brahma a little bit, but I thought it's okay. People can follow whatever they like. I heard from my other brothers and sisters that they don't eat food outside, and I said okay, because I was a devotee, also learning the history, but the stories and the scriptures of Bharat inspired me to become like, when I heard about Dhruv story or Shravan story or whichever story in scripture, I would think I want to do something like that. I want to follow that. So I started reading Gita, standing on one leg, right? Because I couldn't go to jungle to visions from God or to meet God. But at least I said, what I can do, let me read Gita standing on one foot, right? So I was reading like that. And so my family members were watching me that she's, and I would wake up early in the morning and pray. Even we have exams or anything, I would never miss my prayers. And so that kind of feelings of praying and remembering God. So this devotional feeling was there, and Bharat, the land of Bharat, was in my heart. But coming to London, all that slowly disappeared. And one day I was praying in London, and I literally had tears, and I had a little Shivlingam with me, I brought from India, and I was pouring milk and worshipping, but I literally cried and said, what is this world? I am following Gita, and in the Gita it says, hey Arjuna, you continue to perform actions and do not expect any fruit. And so I was following that. Okay, we continue to do perform actions on this field of action, but we were so ignorant. I was so ignorant about what is right karma and what is wrong karma. Right? So I thought this knowledge, whoever is speaking, because I happened to be in the class, even though I was told not to sit in the class, and I thought, no, no, I want to be in satsang. Whatever satsang they are doing is it's fine, and I should join this satsang, which was Murli class. And I thought, if I don't, then what would God think about me? So I sat for Murli class, and with open mind, I was just listening, and it made sense to me. He said, "This sounds good. I like this. Whoever is speaking this, or whoever is saying this, but I like this." And so after 2 days, I told my brother that I want to get these papers that you're reading in the morning. I want to, can you give me some? And because I did not take course and I was very, good devotee of Sri Krishna, and so he thought probably I will misunderstand. I haven't taken course. So he said, no, we don't give this, because they were, passing on the Murlis to their Brahmins, to take them, for them to take to home and then read and come bring it back. And so he said, look, we are giving them for them to read. So we don't have any. But when my brother and his wife, they both went to work during the daytime, I went in their basement too. I thought, let me do something. So I went in their basement, and in basement I saw boxes of Murli. And so I said, wow, they are lying. They have these papers and they're not. So I said, I want these papers. So I requested I will bring them back. I will read and then bring them back. So, and in that desperate situation, my brother said, okay, it's fine. But he was not happy. But I said, it's okay, don't worry. I want to read and then bring them back. And then I started reading Murlis, waking up early in the morning. Instead of reading Gita, I would do Diva, I light the lamp, and then I would keep Gita on one side and start reading Murli on one side. And it was like Baba, God, the Supreme Father Shiva, was helping me. And there was light, some kind of light coming. And I was spending time reading Murli and trying to understand. And I was like having goosebumps, right? So this was nobody gave me course. And so I started understanding more. And whenever I had question, I would ask my brother. But this is how Murli was my instrument for my Brahmin birth. And when I met Baba in Madhuban first time, and Baba told me, it was personal meeting, and Baba told me that that the Father has given you this knowledge. Do you not? You have this intoxication that God Himself has taught you this knowledge, right? Do you have this intoxication, right? And I said, yes. I was just nodding because at that time we just like him, like today's blessing, right? And our January points, it was like similar. That they went in front of Baba and all other thoughts just become quiet. And said, yes, you are not the running stage, you are not walking, you are not running, you are flying stage, you are flying stage, and you will continue to fly, constantly fly. So that was a blessing. But Baba gave me course, otherwise I was the person who would not listen to this knowledge. If somebody would give me course, I would have many questions and arguments, but this is how my Brahmin birth took place. And then so much love for service. As I understood knowledge, I wanted to share. So I was living outside London, and somehow I was far from center and I was missing. And at that time, we did not have all this facility, right? So I wanted to be close to center. And so I went close to center, started going to center, and then only one thought, I want to go and meet Baba, no matter what it takes. And that's how my journey started. And then also so much love for service. So first thing, I was not driving because in London we have so much public transportation, and even if we have car, we have to stop somewhere and then walk again to station. Right? And so I thought, why? I don't want to bother learning car, driving. So first thing I thought, now I have to go to morning class. I have to learn driving. So I learned driving. I wasn't very good first test, and the driver instruction, the examiner, I mean the one who was actually taking my exam, he uh, was so surprised because my driving instructor who was teaching me driving the day before, he took me for 2 rounds. He said, I have to give you 2 lessons before your test tomorrow. And so, and he was very angry at me. And he said, look at your driving, and you wanted to take a test tomorrow. And I was so quiet and calm. I said, that's fine. I still want to take test tomorrow. And he said, okay, you're wasting money. And I said, yes, fine. The next day, my driving test, my examiner took me to round because there are a lot of roundabouts in London. So he took me, he told me to turn left. And I know I made a mistake. But I was so calm. I was not that desperate. I want to pass the test and whatever. But he took me to that roundabout again, and I made up for that mistake. And so he then told me to pull the car. He says, you know what? You are not that good. I'm going to pass you, but you have to be very careful. But somehow you are so peaceful and calm, and you made up for your mistake, and I think you will be okay. And so he passed me. And he said, what are you doing? Why are you so peaceful, and how you did not panic, So I said, I learned meditation, and I want to teach meditation. And that's why I'm learning. I want to serve other people. And so I gave him few points of meditation at the time, what is soul and the car driver and all that. So this was my, enthusiasm to serve. And then he said, just be careful. And yeah, he passed me. So this was my experience in the beginning of Brahmin life. That I want to serve. I want to go to morning class every day. So I have to learn. And that's how I started service. At that time, there was no global house, the big headquarters, which is in London now. It was in the small place, Baba Bhavan. And then before that, there was Tennyson Road, but Baba Bhavan. And then our morning class used to happen in community center, the Dunhill Community Center. And so you can imagine London class, about more than 200 Brahmins would come to that community center, which was community center means during daytime, in the evening, other activities would happen there. So daytime there was satsang and all that. Other people would come for satsang. Majority were Indian people. But in the evening time parties, And so every morning, one yugal, Nagin Bhai and Manju Bhai would come and clean everything, put the carpet for Brahmins, and then do agarbatti, incense sticks, and then the class would take place, and there was a divider. So English class and Hindi class would be divided. That's how the class was in London at that time. And so, but what I was doing, that so much enthusiasm and so much pull to share this knowledge. So the same place in the afternoon, satsang was happening. So I would go in satsang and sit there in white sari And and the satsang people knew that this sister is coming from Brahma Kumaris, right? And I would just sit there and enjoy their satsang, but in front there are all the idols. And so much feeling of, okay, this is what they don't know who these people are, who these deities are, and they are worshipping, and how intoxicated I was that we are becoming that. And so this is how my service and Indian organization, so then Global House was built, and then in Global House it was the the board, the sign there, Brahma Kumaris, sorry, Global Cooperation House for the better, and then it's the Brahma Kumaris. So World Spiritual University. No one knows about university. That what kind of university is that? So people were passing, but they did not know what this university is. So we were having meetings like Maureen sister, and then in the beginning that how to now let people know that we exist here. And at that time, all this social media was not there. So mainly flyers, giving flyers and going to different places. And so Sister Maureen started positive thinking course. So what I did that for Indian community, I translated this into Gujarati and made slide, transparency, that projector, and the projector I used to show them this transparency. And then I went to different organizations, Indian organizations, and started meeting them and keeping them in contact. So they all came in contact, and that's how uh, the service was taking place in London after Global House was built. And so I was taking care of mainly Hindi service, Indian community centers and satsang. So I started going in 3-4 places. And so then I would make contact. They would say, do you want to sing a prayer or a song? Devotional song they sing one by one. And then they would offer me. I would say, no, I'm enjoying your bhajans. So then I would tell on special occasion like Janmashtami also, I would say, I will call sister from center. And so I would ask Sudesh Didi. The Sudesh Didi would come and give a talk. And then I would also share a little bit. That's how in Indian organization, I did the positive thinking course, and then I was explaining first lesson while doing that. And then the leaders came into contact and satsang. Sudesh Didi would come and give talk. This is how I was thinking about serving the community. But then, first Diwali program in London Global Cooperation House was first Diwali program, and I told Sister Janini, we were coordinating, she is the coordinator, and then we were talking. And I said, if you want to, we can have a group program and invite all Indian organization leaders. And so it was a very good program. We invited all these students who were in contact for candle lighting Diwali program. That's how Indian community came to know about the place. And then very nice drama, Diwali drama. 14 actors. And how all the significance, every puja and whatever we do we know the meaning of that? So I created the script, and we were 14 actors. And we did very good drama. The whole full Global Cooperation House was first time full. And so many people came for the program. So this was the beginning of service in London. And then Dadi sent me in 90s to Chicago, and then Georgia. Chicago I went 3 times, and then Atlanta. We started service in Atlanta. Myself and my lucky brother were invited. And then Dadi called me back. Now Inner Space was open in Wembley, and after 4 years, Dadi sent me to Dallas. And so this is my journey. And so it's, of course, so much love for Baba and Baba's service, and for Brahmin family. It's so unique. The Dadi Janki was and Sister Jayanti and Sudeshwari in the banter, and whole Brahmin family. London was the international headquarters, and so many Brahmins would come, have stopover to London, and then uh, meet the class. This is how unlimited Brahmin family came to know, uh, and I came to know about them. And then I was sent to America. And when I came, there was a small apartment with some Brahmins. They were asking for teacher, and so Dadi Janki sent me for 3 months. And so the aim of sharing this is how I was not searching for God, but I wanted to know about karma. And what are the right karma? Because we all perform actions, right? But actions performed in ignorance and actions performed with knowledge and selfless actions. There are ordinary actions. Even now, after knowledge, we know that we are not constantly serving. And yesterday's Murli was very nice. So, how to serve constantly? How the Supreme Father Shiva Baba, he comes and teaches us how to become server and the instrument to serve the whole world, especially Bharat. And so everything was like all the puzzles were fixed. And so I had a good, clear idea that now what this life is for and how I want to serve Bharat and also the world. But we know that performing actions, we have to clear the burden of the past. So when you ask me what topic, I said karma is very big, unlimited topic, right? But coming into essence is now that after these many years, how to come into essence now. So clearing the past, paying full attention to the present, and naturally accumulating for the future. So we are actually working for the whole cycle, because somebody was asking why half the cycle only. Why we receive inheritance for half cycle only? Because we are clearing whatever efforts we are making, we have to pay 50% of half the cycle. Right? And so we are left with half 50%. So that is why we are accumulating for half the cycle, but making full effort now. So actions in the Gita, whatever, as today's Murli was saying, many things are written in the Gita. And the main part is, this is the field of action. We soul come here. Shiva Baba, the Supreme Father, he is coming here is to transform the world, purify the world. Our coming here in this world, field of action, we want to experience the highest. We want to experience happiness. We want to experience relationship. We want to experience all the qualities. And that's why we are pulled to this world. We also have duty. So, on the path of ignorance, there are many good devotees. So I was always thinking of Mirabai and, all the good devotees, Jalaram, Bhakta Jalaram today. But there are many devotees, they are also very quality devotees. So they are constant donor. As yesterday's Murli, is a constant donor, like Jalaram Bhakta. He was such a devotee. And people keep, they keep making food and people just come and eat. Constant, it is still going on. There are many places. But how our inner eye is open now and we are Trikaldarshi and how Shiva Baba explains us so much details of karma that okay, this is fine, this it's physical, giving food and also helping people, needy people, but how to perform the most elevated actions and how it begins. So we all know now, right? I think you all know that the basis of karma is thought, the seed is thought, and how we realize more and more that not only thoughts, but the feelings, right? Our sanskaras, according to sanskaras, our feelings are also in thoughts. They are working subtly. And so, on what basis I'm performing action? And also, more details, we know that attitude towards any karma, attitude, and then our vision. So, these are subtle karmas, having attitude of thoughts and vision. So, subtle karma and gross karma. But when we speak, we know the words are heard, but our thoughts are not heard. But the thoughts are the seed, and all thoughts we don't act out. So many thoughts are there, they are wasteful, but then we realize how we want to make our thoughts worthwhile and fruitful. So we want to be free from even base thoughts and perform such actions that our actions and allow us to have elevated thoughts again. So actions, thoughts, and the fruit, they are connected. Even though we don't want any fruit, Baba says that you will definitely experience fruit. But how? Moving towards Karmateet stage, we become really free from any kind of expectations, any kind of selfish motive, any kind of um, negative emotions. That slowly, how we refine our stage, and that happens only with God's knowledge and power. Otherwise, so much karmas are created, right? On the path of devotion, no matter how much anyone renounces physically, but in body consciousness, karmas keep trapping us in bondages. So, any questions? Or
That's nice. So Ranjan, if you can take us through some meditation, um, either on your personal experience when you first came or
right,
on the topic of karma, that
right.
would be nice.
First practice, I practice is soul consciousness. And I it wasn't like destruction is going to happen for me. It is already there. As soon as I saw the picture of the cycle, and I asked my brother, what is this? So he just talked about, he just said, I said, what is this white part? Our picture of the cycle and that white confluence. I said, what is this white part? I did not ask him all the details. I said, what is this white part? And he said, the world is going to transform this world negative. This world is going to be destroyed. That's it. This world has to be destroyed because so much sin, so much negativity, so much wars, all these things that are happening. It has to destroy and the new has to come. And so that realization there and then. And I never thought about when destruction is coming. I was just saying it's going to happen soon. And what I want to do, first thing I wanted to destroy my sins. No matter what it takes, I was just finding time to sit and meditate. That I don't want to keep this burden. I want to be free from. And so meditation, sitting for meditation and yoga was my first effort. reading Murli, but meditation is so important that I want to sit for yoga. I want to finish my and then soul conscious vision, because working in health food, so many customers would come and go. And then I started practicing this. It was very good practice in the shop, in the store, that everyone who comes for in the store to get medicines or whatever health food item, I would see them as soul. That practice became, and walking, because I used to walk. So then walking while being soul conscious. And then dealing with everyone's soul conscious practice was so much effort that I made for in the beginning. That helped me a lot to create the foundation, basic foundation, soul consciousness, and then um, more and more realization continue to happen. So yes, let us go into that meditation practice. Now, are you going to play music, or just I should just do commentary?
I think commentary would be good.
Yeah, okay, good. No need for music, it's fine. So as soon as the realization that I am an eternal being, being introverted, focusing within, I become aware of my true self, being detached from the body, and holding on to this awareness. Makes me feel light. My form is light, and there is lightness. I love myself, and I love purity. I am a pure and loveful soul. And I'm sending the vibrations of purity and love throughout this body into atmosphere. Into the unlimited, and I remember my home, the abode of peace. As I remember home, I become still in this stillness. There is a pull to be with the Supreme Father, the Almighty Father. I, the soul, and Baba only. I am empowered in God's company. All the burden is removed. And I come back as the Master Almighty. God's power makes me self-sovereign. I become master of my mind, of my intellect, and my feelings and emotions, my senses, karmendriya, I am the self-sovereign Master Almighty Soul. Om Shanti.
Thank you for the beautiful meditation.
So my checking point is if I have done gadbad means made mistake in performing actions, I will not be able to be detached from the body. This bodiless stage is not going to haunt his own, right? To be soul conscious, you will say, I'm soul conscious, I'm also soul conscious, but am I becoming bodiless? As soon as I think, as soon as I sit, because soul conscious is our regular practice, but when we sit for meditation, and at that time, sitting for meditation is to be bodiless, right? So then I'm ready to take power from God. And if I'm taking time, that means I have created some karma, right? Past karmas are there, and God knows that. But in our day-to-day karma, if there are mistakes made or if they're, little bit up and down, then to be bodiless will take time. That is my checking point. I have to be careful, right? And so, although we have knowledge, we are trikaldarshi, but how much we need to pay attention, and that is going towards Karmateet stage. We know now we don't perform sinful actions, but also being slowly free from making mistakes. And then further, also being free from any wasteful, any wastage. So Baba often said any wastage, the earth is also not going to allow us to become Karmateet. And Karmateet is becoming cleaner, going. And so I like this word since I was reading Gita, but there was no understanding. So it became so clear what are right karma, what actions are wrong karma, sinful actions, and ordinary actions, right? And then elevated actions, and then beneficial actions. Very completely selflessness, like Shri Baba. He's benevolent, and he all act as he comes and he perform actions, right? Start guiding us, but completely benevolent. And so he's merciful, but benevolent. There's so much feelings that in any condition he is benevolent towards all. Even the last soul, right, of the world, that anyone would be so bad person, we can say, but that soul belongs to Shiva Baba. So I need to remind myself all the time that no matter what anyone is like, but the soul belongs to Shiva Baba and is God's child. my attitude and my feeling should be always towards a soul being a child of God. So then I am able to have that pure vision for the soul. Pure vision, just not pure vision, but um, benevolent feelings. Because we all not perfect, right? We all have some or other weaknesses or defects. But our subtle practice and effort is to respect any soul and every soul as God's child, a soul, and my duty is to just serve and have benevolent feelings. So all this practice slowly mm, help us to become moving towards Karmateet stage. Because as I think this corona or this pandemic time, it is very beneficial for us to go more and more. It's not that we are free and we did not do any service, but a lot of self-service happened, a lot of realization. And we were given this task, okay, not going outside and do service, but this service was most important. And so my experience is moving towards Karmati stage. And what is the sign that how much burden I still carry, how much I have reduced. Mhm. So Murli is the mirror. Murli is the instrument for us to check ourselves every day. So what is the improvement? How much have I improved? Where am I lacking? And so Murli is our breath. Murli is, and so, and Murli listening, reading the right method. Last weekend or 2 weeks back, Baba spoke about Murli. But then in that Murli, Baba talked about Viddhi and Siddhi. Viddhi method, following right method, and then becoming successful. It's so important. This whole full effort is not like do it whenever you can and according to the capacity and um, how dadis would say, according to capacity people are doing. And what are we doing with God's power then? So we have to use God's power in following all this right method. So how much we learn about karma that before we used to think, oh, just give donation to anyone. And then when we come in knowledge, we realize if that person does something wrong with that money, we also receive the fruit of that karma. Means there are some effect on ourselves also. So, right thing, we realize a donation or being merciful. Often Baba says, don't be merciful. Rahem Bhavana, Rahem Dil. Rahem Bhavana, Rahem Dil. Thus we have knowledge, but we cannot have wrong mercy. It's with the feelings only, feeling of mercy, but there has to be knowledge. And so how we realize all this, how to be Karmateet. And all these subtle aspects are needed for us to practice and realize.
If you can share some of your experiences in this practice, like what has shifted in relationship and how to work, or especially being in that senior role, there's a lot of responsibility towards the yajna and also to the not only towards the centers but also to all other instruments. So there is a lot of thinking that goes behind the scene, and when we sit for yoga and then have all of this kind of thoughts coming up, uh, how do you manage that? And any special practices that you do to separate work and yoga, or you blend yoga with work, or you
Mhm.
do service with yoga itself so that you sort it out? how how do you do work out that?
Right, right. Often it's not always that when we are yoga and we doing service, right? But also my feelings toward we were a cooperative, like companion, not like I need to be with them, but I would want them to improve because we took sustenance from seniors. And as what we have learned. So family means a lot of learning. And if we have attitude of learning, then we learn. If we just think why somebody is saying this or why, okay, there was no need to, I did not do it. No, that is not. So Mama used to say it's a lot of learning from seniors, from daddies, right? So Mama and Brahma Baba, my aim is always to follow them. And then daddies we so practically. Right? That's how they are using all the powers, power to accommodate, power to praise, and power to, you know, back up and everything. So how they are serving, being so powerful. And so seeing them as well as following Brahma, Baba, and Mama. So their specialties of whatever they practice. And so Mama always used to say that if somebody says something to you, if it is not for today, but it will help you in the future. So always accept teachings or corrections, right? And so, uh, and this is how I improved, and always wanted to progress that way. But saying Haji, it helps a lot. And also, but we can't expect others should say Haji. And so that is another thing. That okay, now the souls who are coming in Gyan and those who want to be cooperative, they can be choosy, For us, like I just wanted to do all round service. And I always was karma yoga was my main interest. Helping in Bandara, helping I had like global cooperation house, big as soon as I came and I thought I want to do seva. So helping in the Bandara in the center and then karma yoga. Dadi's room and the sisters' rooms and then the hall and all that. So karma yoga is the best service to start with. And so we really, and service is not just like doing seva, but every, even small service we do, I always had the feeling that it's my fortune. To be in the conference and do any seva is my fortune. Only this feeling can take us move forward. If we start looking at others, what this one is doing, and I want to do this much and I don't want to do this. Whatever service is there, I want to be part of the service. And then also teaching course or class, everything. But karma yoga, even now, it's not that because we have to take care of a lot of other service, but I need to do some karma yoga. So serving through body is important. Put this body in the class, it is sitting in yagya. And so nowadays, it's like this trend has started, being online. But whoever can, it is so important to sit in the class and listen to Murli. It is like you are sitting in yagya at that time. And that brings us close to family. It is very, very important. I have noticed that those Brahmins who come to center in Dallas or in other centers, they naturally come close because they are in front. So service also they get most first chance to do service, right? And so we create our fortune. And so it is not like a question of a thought even. So Dadi Janki was saying, even if you have to go to hospital, Tell the ambulance people, "Oh, I want to go to center. I want to listen to Murli and then take me to hospital," like that. If you have family or friends visiting, guests, also bring them that, okay, I'm going to satsang, you come with. Don't just because I have my guest and so I can't come to center for Murli class. We have to give first priority. This is for me, and friends and family members will not do anything for me. I have to clear my karma. So that has to be very clear that I am responsible for my karma. And God is telling me it's my responsibility that I have to follow all Baba's directions to make my fortune and also to get blessings from Baba. And also we receive blessing from family, Brahmin family. So following Baba's Srimad as they are is very, very important. And we cannot just compromise it. And so if we compromise, that is our loss. Knowing this, and so being ready for any seva. And when we are all round, and so many things we learn. So many things we learn while doing service. And so purity and seva is the way to come close to Baba, to family. Then we start feeling that this is my family. If we don't go to home center, we don't feel that connection. Okay, even though we tried sitting at home, but to go to center and meet with Brahmins and study together and do seva together brings a lot of fortune to us. We learn a lot of good qualities. So that is very important to come to close. And then that will bring us close to seniors also, right? Because instruments will definitely take you to seniors, right? But these are very helpful, cooperative souls helping us. So naturally, they get the first right. So coming close to Brahmin family means seva is important. And sitting at home, we don't experience this. So even those who are not able to go to center, but during the daytime or evening time or to do seva, it's so important to go to center. It is yajna. We have to say physically, like being in the land, so we have to follow the laws of the land, and we call it center because we are organization, and so that is fine. But for us, is Baba's home. It is yajna, and I want to be in yajna. I want to use my time, my body, whatever I have, in yajna seva. That creates that feeling more and more being close to God and close to the family. Then the belongingness happens. That I belong to this. Otherwise, lokik and alokik. So making alokik spiritual and making God belong to you is so important. Then we feel closer to God also. So Baba is here, but Baba's task is my task. This is the feeling that I, before knowledge, I had this feeling that to be Desh Bhakta, right? Become those who join army and those who want to serve country. They are called Desh Bhakti. Desh Bhakti, Bhagwan ki Bhakti, devotional feeling for God, and then attitude of serving. That it becomes so easy that this life is for seva. Let me use everything in God's Bible. So then I can receive power now. Future is future, but now I want this power. This is my time to make fortune. By reading blessings and all that, it's fine. But acting upon, right? Okay, I want to receive blessings. This blessing will help us at the right time. So accumulating as much as we don't know, like people accumulate money and they think that it will help us, at the time of need. But this blessing, this accumulation of the fortune that Baba has given us is so important. So not counting, because when anyone counts anything that I did this, I did that, So I would say how much sins we committed. Count that. Hmm? Count that from the corporation onwards. And how can we compare what we are doing? Uh, there is a story, I think you may have heard it, that mother uh, was dealing with son. Okay, you do this when you do this, and then son came with the list that I did so much, and so if you get it done, then you would have to pay this much. And so the mother said, "Okay, really? Okay, since you were born, how much I did for you? We count that." So if we start counting, and some people think of balance. A balance is not just like keeping balance. Balance is everything should go in God's account. Then the balance would happen, whatever loss we have made, from corporate onwards. It's not 50% this and 50%. Balance is when our attitude is okay, everything, my mind, time, thoughts. And so it doesn't mean that you leave everything and come to center and then you have to renounce everything. No, it's just our own attitude that everything I want to use it for God task, and that is my fortune, taking this opportunity of the conference age. That then that balance of that whatever loss we have made for half the cycle would be paid. And we don't know how much it would be paid. And so what is bharosa kya hai? What is the guarantee of life? You can't say, okay, 5 years, 10 years, and some people just wait for the destruction to happen that we'll see at that time. No, it will not happen. Effort made for a long period of time, keeping that in awareness is so important.
Beautiful. So Ranjan, well, one of the things that comes to my mind whenever I think about confluence age, end of the confluence age, and so many daddies leaving the body, and of
Yeah.
course, I got a fortune to see Daddy Janki few months before she left the body. And most of the time, as a part of the youth coordinator meetings, when we meet, Dad used to tell like, do this, do that, this
Mm-hmm.
service, that service, and or she used to give some nice gyan points and stuff. The last meeting when we had a solid 20 minutes time, and then she was totally in silence.
Mm-hmm.
And then she did this powerful dristi for almost like a half an hour. She spent time with us, but she hardly spoke few words. And that stayed with us, and we felt so empowered just being in Dadi's company in that time.
Mm-hmm.
So would you share some of your thoughts and experiences around as that is coming closer to their Karmateet stage,
Mm-hmm.
and what is it that we need to do to practice or do service at that level, going beyond sound, so that we can come closer to them and then get ready for our next phase of our
And I
conference.
would say, yeah, thank you, Bhai, for the question. Dadi Janki would say, don't think about service. Mm. Be introverted. If you want to think, first Dadi was saying 95% be with yourself, and then 5% for service you think. But then lately she said 99% be remain with yourself, right? And then service. Because it is so important. So, I remember the Jantiban sharing, I think, or Jantiban or somebody, yeah, Jantiban was sharing. That's one thing that we realized when Dadi shared this. Dadi said, I keep my all energy reserved when I'm serving. It's Baba's task and Baba's service, right? Whoever is in front of her. So whatever our own effort we need to make, that is more important. Mhm. And so Dadi was saying that be introverted means be with yourself 95%, and then think about 5% of service. And then she said even 1%. The service, because we become very busy for service, but main part is to be with the self. It's so important. The inner work, churning knowledge, and that whatever service is needed, it will come in front. And so Dadi Gulzar was totally rigid. I was sharing this morning in the class. Dadi Gulzar would say, whatever you have to act upon, only think that much. Why you have to think other thoughts? So you can imagine that how they are so detached from this world and detached from the activities and all that. Mhm. That anything we do, it should be with power. And so whatever comes in front, we and be all round. As we are all rounded, then service will be there. And so they did not give so much importance to service. But first three subject, knowledge, yoga, and dharana is important. And often when some Brahmins are engaged in service, they become slack in this following Srimad, means Maryada. Okay, I did service, so it's okay. I did not do Amrit Vela, it's fine. Or I missed Murli, fine. So this foundation or inner foundation is so important. And that's what I have learned from them and I saw them. And so, and I always want all Brahmins to practice this, okay? Service is fine, it will be done, but our foundation should be strong on Maryada, practice Maryada, and then um, so three subjects are more important for ourselves, and then service is the fourth subject. And in service, anything create any complication, stop there and then. And then, you know, meditation is so important because sometimes there are sanskaras, or sometimes I and mine, or there is difference of opinion. So at that time, we want to remain detached because we easily become reactive, right? And it happens, so it needs practice. For me, anyone is wasting time, energy, I always feel like, okay, and my time is also wasted because of that. So how to make up for time is so important now because we Brahmins are going to realize soon that time is very important factor, and Baba said this is the treasure. And soon we will realize that I wasted my time in this, I wasted my time, I wasted my time. So what I have seen that is not wasting any time. And so ultimately other treasures are not wasted. So not I should be just successful, but whatever, whoever other companions, they also should be good yogi. That pay attention to yoga, save time, and don't be so tired and don't waste energy because organize something, right? When there is clarity, when there is good yoga, you can do the same work in less half of the time. And this is what is so important for us. And so we need to be focused, we need to be organized, but we have to be good yogi now to save time. Otherwise, time is going to grab, and then somehow will deceive us. Samay ka dokha nahi. So our mind, our thoughts are so important. We can't allow our mind to do wherever it wants to wander. This is called Raja Yoga. Raja means I am I Raja of my thoughts, my feelings. Am I influenced? My intellect get influenced easily by situation and people. So paying attention to the inner self is so important. How do we pay attention? What does it mean to pay attention? So our inner state should not be influenced by the situation and people. Our Madhyada should not be broken because something happened. And so this is how I practice and I share with others that more your foundation is strong, you will be fearless, first of all. Because if there is no power, right, there will be a lot of fear because situations are coming. And so I went to a satsang, for example, not satsang, inaugurate housewarming of somebody's house. And so they know about Brahma coins and we talk about. And the easy question they ask is how long it will take for destruction, when it is going to happen. And then somebody says, whatever we see now, the world is much better than before. Much worse things happened in the past. For example, Hitler, and then there are so many other things happen, right? which is not happening now. It's much better now. Mhm. But if we see the human life, uh, and so I was, there's this, I don't know whether you heard about the frog, two frogs. One frog was put in the water, and the heat was given slowly, 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 and then frog died. But another frog was put in very hot water. He jumped out. It jumped out, and it was saved, right? So similarly here, the whole world is going to the stage that the heat is increasing slowly, slowly, and they don't realize. Mm. And so inner peacelessness and impurity is increasing in very fast speed, and souls are being affected by so many other things, wrong things that are happening in the world. Mm. Whether it is war or protest or violence or whatever, but we are all being affected. And we yogi souls, we don't just protect ourselves, but we have a responsibility to protect others, to protect the world. And that's why we are God's children. We can't forget that as God's child, I don't just want to claim my inheritance, but as God's child, I am responsible. So God is protector, and my duty is also to have good yoga uh, and to send these pure vibrations to the souls, no matter what they are doing, wherever they are. So when we consider this to be my duty, so then there is attention. So unlimited, making our attitude unlimited. That I'm not just here for my Brahmin life is not there for myself, but then it is, I have to be unlimited in my attitude. We don't have to go anywhere. It doesn't take any expense, right? Just to have these thoughts and feelings would help us to be unlimited naturally. So
You. If anyone have any questions or comment, feel free to unmute yourself and you can ask the question. Uh, in the meantime, Didi, would you like to share any personal experience that you have in Madhuban?
oh yes,
So
of course. I know. I don't know whether you have time, but but yes, Madhuban is every time we go, and I remember many Brahmins would say, "I want to go and charge my battery." Hmm. That doesn't mean we come back and use up all the battery, right? We have to continue to add. Hmm. So I have to go with more. Hmm. So whatever I have taken, what did I do with that? Hmm. So every time going to Madhuban is, even though Baba's, the meeting method has changed. Mhm. Baba is there, Brahma Baba is there, and they are still with us, more with us. With physical presence is not, the more object presence is there. And so uh, I want to take benefit of meeting the unlimited family, to being with them, and constantly radiating these pure vibrations. So uh, for us, it's unlimited. For God, is compared to the whole world. How many souls go to Madhuban? And so we are so fortunate to go to Madhuban and take benefit of meeting unlimited family and also be in the presence of Milan. So experiencing Madhuban trip, and every time we go, there is teachers meeting. So all teachers from all over the world, they get together and have a meeting, but it is meeting, but not meeting for meeting, service meeting, but meeting is so important. Brahmin family. Otherwise, what happens? And if we are like in little puddle, right? We only see the puddle. When I came in knowledge in London, I thought this is the family. But when I went to Madhuban, it was Om Shanti Bhavan, right? And meditation hall in Om Shanti Bhavan, capacity of 3,000 or so, right? And then I was thinking, well, this is the family. But now we see so many 20,000 Brahmins in the big hall. So it is like that. So our local center, but as we go to bigger center, and then bigger center in Madhuban, it's like the ocean of Brahmins, right? When we go in the season. Mm. So we are so fortunate double foreigners are given facilities in Gyan Sarovar. But if you stay in Shantivan, you see, there is no, you know, space to walk even. And you can imagine how many of them are coming to visit Pandavan in groups. You are in Pandavan, you said, right? Mhm. So they come in the group from Shantivan to spend
Yeah.
half day. So crowded even. But it is family and how they come with an intoxication. No matter physical facility is one thing, but it's so important to be with family, to feel, to have that feeling of belonging. And I think the Brahmins who come in Gyan now, they need to experience this. No? So coming to center is so important, and doing seva is so important, and also planning to go to Madhuban Unlimited Place. I would invite you, whoever, if you want. You have Anubhuti retreat place, right? But we invite you also to come to the Tapasya retreat place here in Dallas. So you can come for outing, but Baba has given us facility to go for outing, right? So we don't need to go on mountain or anywhere else, other places, but yes, on mountain, Mount Abu, Madhuban. And we have Peace Village, we have Andavati, and we have Tapasadam for Brahmins to come and do tapasya and be with family. So I invite you all, brothers, Kumars. You are in Kumar, right? Meeting? Yes, so you can uh, all come. So I want to share my one weakness, and that weakness is I can't see anyone making slack effort. And that's why I just want everyone to come on, move. There is no time. We have to be together. I don't want anyone to be left out. Like, I create this image that, okay, the train is going, how in the family when we have to go out together. And if someone does not worn shoes, so we all try to help, right? Come on, wear your shoes and come on. We don't want to miss our plane. We don't want to miss our train. And so even it takes it's an effort, but get ready before the final period comes. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Right.